Hello everyone, welcome back to Conversations, the channel where we talk about finance, technology, industries, and politics, and occasionally about numbers so big they stop meaning anything. For tomorrow, the number is $1.5 billion. Tomorrow, as in December 20th, 2025, that's the current Powerball jackpot. It could be go up to 1.6 billion by tomorrow, who knows? But currently it's 1.5 billion dollars. That number is so large, it takes about 3 seconds for you could fix your family, your life, the economy, and the possible traffic in Atlanta. But then reality shows up. If you live in Atlanta and you take one-time lump sum pay after federal tax, Georgia tax, and everything else, the take-home pay is about $395 million. Again, that's a lot of money, still life-changing. But then that raised the questions, where did the $1.1 billion go? Let's have a recap here. The jackpot is $1.5 billion. But if you win, if you live in Atlanta or in the state of Georgia, for example, different states have different taxes, and I'll put the link right here where you can calculate what the lump sum pay would be if you win in your state. If you live in Georgia, in Atlanta, it's a big city in the U.S., the lump sum pay is $397 million. So that raises the questions, where does the $1.1 billion goes? And why did the winners in the past take home so much more compared to now? Let's talk about the math behind the dreams. Here's the truth about that ruined dinner conversations. The lottery never had $1.5 billion to begin with. If they did, the Federal Reserve would call it and ask questions. Instead, the lottery starts with a much smaller amount. Invest conservatively and use time and interest rates to stretch over 30 years. And this right here is why your parents' jackpot were better than yours. When you choose the annuity, the lottery invests in U.S. Treasury bonds, U.S. Treasury notes, Treasury strips, zero coupon bonds. Translation, the safest, most boring investments imaginable. No stock, no tech bet, no crypto. Just government debts, predictable returns, and the math that never sleep. Because the lottery is not allowed to gamble with your winnings. The irony, fully acknowledged, is that your lump sum pay, the annuity, is $1.5 billion over 3 years, but the lottery never have that amount to begin with. Let's update the numbers a little bit. The current jackpot is advertised to be $1.5 billion annuity. The cash option before tax is roughly somewhere between $720 million to $750 million. That's the cash option before tax. That's how much the lottery have now actually, but after 30 years of investment, it gets to about $1.5 billion. In boring government debts, no risk. That's why it's after 30 years, the $720 million only become $1.5 billion. That's about twice the amount in 30 years. The take-home pay, if you live in Atlanta, Georgia, would be around $397 million after all the state tax, federal tax, city tax, and everything that the government take away from you, if you win that amount. The federal tax, top brackets, that's for if you win that much, with 37%. And a mandatory federal withholding, 24% upfront. And Georgia state income tax is 5.75%. Additional adjustments when filing might apply as well. The IRS gets rich before you do. They will take your money before you have it. So let's recap some timeline why the take-home pay is so little now. In the 1980s, the treasury rates is 10 to 15%. Bonds grow faster. Cash option often get 70% or more. Smaller jackpots get better deals. In the 1980s, the rates fallen to 6 to 8%. Strong compounding, winners keep more upfront. But in the 2000s, the interest rate declined even more. Cash percentage shrink. In the 2010 to 2021, the rates is about 0.5% to 3%. Remember all the interest rate dropped so little around 2021? Well, you remember a few years ago when the rates is so low, near zero interest error. Cash options dropped to 45 to 55%. Billion-dollar jackpots explodes. That's because they start changing the game, fixing the number, expanding the number more to get the jackpot growth larger. Why? To sell more tickets. In the 23 to 2025, where we are now, the rates rebounds to about 4% to 5% after COVID. Still volatile, but still low compared to the 80s. Long-term average still remain low. If you want to pay someone $1 million in 30 years, let's take a look at the math here. If you want to pay someone $1 million in 30 years, at 8%, you will need to invest around $99,000 today. That's at 8% interest. But at 2% interest, you will need over $550,000 today to get to $1 million in 30 years. Let me say that again. Today, at 8% interest, you will need around $99,000 today. Let's make it an even number, $100,000 today. You will need, at 8%, it will take 30 years to get to $1 million. But at 2%, you will need over $500,000, $550,000 today to get to $1 million in 30 years. That's the math. I know you all know the math, but sometimes we don't think about it. Sometimes what does 2% to 8% really means in 30 years? That's what that means, a lot. It's a wildly different upfront cost. Why older jackpots were more generous? Why modern jackpots look bigger but feel worse? I mean, $397 million is not worse, but in the 80s, if it's $1.5 billion, you would have taken home over $1 billion in the 1980s. All right, let's get back to the current time. Okay, the jackpots make people uncomfortable because it's so large. The jackpot number is actually marketing. Modern lottery backload the annuity payments, stretch the timelines, and optimize headlines, not efficiency. Why? Because bigger number will sell ticket. It works with you, it works with me. I went out, spent $20, which I surely throw away. I could have bought a good dinner with that $20, but I bought $20 worth of lottery anyway. The question is not what's best for the winner. It is what's best for selling more tickets. And $1.5 billion sell very well. Let's talk about the probability. The Powerball odds. You have a chance of 1 in 292 million, 201,000, 338. Okay, that's 292, 221, 338. That's 1 in 292 millions, 201,000, 338. I have to say that number 3 or 4 times to make that numbers mean anything to me. Basically, over 2, you have over the odds of winning is less than 292 million odds. Okay, so what does that even mean? Your chance of losing is that your chance of losing if you buy one ticket is 99.99999966 chance of losing. That means if you're saying that your chance of losing is 99.99%, you're being way too optimistic. So yes, the math instinct is right. If you say your chance of losing is 99.9999 chance of that you will lose, the odds is right. But the odds that you will lose. But there's always someone that will win. Your ticket have just as much chance to win as anyone else's ticket. And that number that you have is you have just as much chance to lose as anyone else, tickets. So every ticket has the same odds. The ticket number is not special. Your number is not overdue. The universe is not keeping score. Your positive thinking might help, might not help. I have no idea. I have watched the law of attraction so many times. Does it work? Who knows? But it was a good document, movies anyway. Each ticket gives you a chance to win and a much larger chance to lose. So, but what are you really buying when you buy the ticket? The lottery ticket doesn't really buy you wealth. You know what it buys for me? You probably what it buys for you. It buys for a lot of people. It's a short-term dream. A mental vacation, if you will. A few days where the spreadsheet doesn't matter anymore. Where you have a chance to dream driving down the road, knowing that you have that ticket. It's a mental vacation that costs you $2 per ticket. Only place what you can afford to lose, because losing is not bad luck. It's the expected outcome. When you buy the ticket, you will lose. It's not bad luck. That's the math. That's the reality. But here's a final take. The jackpot is $1.5 billion. If you live in Georgia, in Atlanta, the take-home pay would be around $397 million. So basically, if you can invest it, it will grow in 30 years. It will grow a lot more than the $1.5 billion. But even if you put in cash, if you even spend $2 million a year, you will never run out of money. Anyway, that's what that $2 dollar bought you, a mental dreams. The interest rates used to do the heavy lifting. Now, the headline does. Winning is possible, losing is much more probable. As I like to say, the lottery doesn't sell money, it sells hope, with taxes and compound interest applied. Well, I hope you, me, or anyone watching this have a chance to win that Powerball ticket. If not, there will be another Powerball ticket next week. Same thing with Mega Millions. It's a chance to dream, that's all it is. The $1 billion, the $1.5 billion, what the math doesn't matter anymore because it's only a dream. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a very Merry Christmas. If I don't post another video before then. And good luck to everyone of winning that Powerball ticket. Thank you for watching. See you next time, friends.